All right, here we are. We are going to do some geometry, and we're going to specialize here in this right triangle trigonometry part of geometry. And this is from our textbook. We're looking, kind of at this like chapter 8. This is a practice packet part 6. So let's do it. Here we go. How about number, I don't know. Let's skip one. Let's go to 62. So for number 62, we have some ingredients. And these ingredients that we got this 17, we have 63 degrees, and an x. And the 17 and the x are pieces of this triangle, and those pieces are in a position relative to this angle. What does that mean? So the angle's over here. That means that you would call this side the opposite y because it's across from that angle. You would call this side the adjacent. So you got an adjacent side and an opposite side and an angle. So let's think about back to our like SOHCAHTOA, our SOHCAHTOA, however you want to say it or sing it. You got these three groups of trig relationships, and the one that has the OA in it would be the tangent. So that tells me that I would say tangent of 63 degrees equals opposite over adjacent because it's opposite over adjacent. So the opposite would be x, and the adjacent would be 17. All right, so that's actually okay. I'm going to leave that as is, and we'll come back to it. Let's do another one. Not exactly the same, slightly different. Let's do 65. How about down here? So here I have another angle that's kind of in this corner here is 28 degrees. And I have this 19 and this x. And if I'm thinking of the 19, that's like the opposite side. It's not like, it is the opposite side because it's opposite that 28 degrees. The x is across from the 90-degree angle. That makes it the hypotenuse side. So now I have a different combination with the h and o. There's no adjacent in there. So which one doesn't have the adjacent? That would be the the o and h there. So that's going to give me sine. And sine of 28 degrees is going to be equal to, well, so that's the opposite over the hypotenuse. The opposite would be 19, and the hypotenuse would be x. Piece of cake so far. All right, well, let's do one more. Now we're going to go back to 61, and then we'll go back and we'll solve all three of these. So 61, it has this 38 degrees here, and we have this side and this side. Now, across from the 38 degrees, I don't even have that one. This would be my opposite, but I don't even have that. Instead, I have the adjacent side, or the adjacent leg, and the hypotenuse, which is across from the 90-degree angle. Okay, so I have an adjacent and a hypotenuse. This would give me my third type of group, which is the cosine. So I'm going to do a cosine, this time of 38 degrees. And that's going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. The adjacent side would be my x, and the hypotenuse would be 16. All right, now to another level. So what's the idea with finding this missing side x, or like solving the equation? Remember, to solve for x is like trying to figure out what x would be by itself. So you just got to get the x by itself and see what happens. Well, in this one, I'd make 16 over 16 by multiplying both sides by 16. That would give me 1 over there, and that's just really x. So 16 times cosine 38, because you got to remember, this cosine 38, that's just a number. That's a calculator number. No big deal there. All right, let's do another. Over here, very similar. If I would just multiply both sides by 17, then I would have 17 times tangent 63 equals x. So that would give me the calculation for that one. Okay, now let's do it in purple here. So I see sine 28 degrees equals the opposite 19 over the x, the hypotenuse. I'm going to put both these over 1. And some people do it, lots of different ways. I look at this, and I know you can do like some cross multiplying and then dividing and all that kind of stuff. Here's my fast way of doing it. I'm going to just flip both sides because that's the same as multiplying by the reciprocals of both sides. And I'd get 1 over 20, or sine 28 degrees is equal to x over 19. And once I'm at this point, I could multiply both sides by 19, and I would get 19 divided by sine of 28 degrees is equal to x. All right, now I have calculations that I can just type in to a calculator. You might be thinking like, oh, how do I press the buttons on the calculator? Well, it's a lot easier than you would think. In fact, all you have to do is go to Google. Yeah, it's really that easy. So here we go. Let's turn off the draw. So I'm gonna turn that off. Go over to Google. Oh, what were the things? Let's see. This one was 16 cosine 38. So all I do is I type in here. I type in 16 times cosine of 38 degrees. Now I need the degrees in there. If I don't put in the degrees, it doesn't know that I'm talking about degrees. It thinks I'm talking about something else. So there we go. I type that in, and hey, what do you know? It comes out with a number. It says about 12.6. So I go back to this picture. That would tell me that this piece right here is about 12.6. That's cool. Let's do another one. How about, what other one did we do? Did we do 62? Yeah, we did 62. This one was the tangent, where we said 17 times tangent of 63 degrees equals x. Now, I would guess that this is a little bit more than 17. I want to show you how, if you don't really type it in correctly, sometimes you might get a wrong answer. Sometimes it actually is deceiving. It might look right, but it's not. So I'm just going to put into my calculation 17 times tangent. Is there a tangent in here? Tangent of 63 degrees. Ooh, is there a degree button? I don't see it. Do you see a degree? Looks like I just got to type it in there. Oh, it says degree. Is this degree? Oh no, I want degrees. There we go, equals. And we got 33.3, and that would be it. That's the answer we were looking for. So when I go back to this, and I'm going to say what would the answer be? Well, it was about 33.3. That was easy. Okay, the last one to go over, and then we'll kind of wrap it up with that, was this number 65. Over here, we found that cosine of 28 degrees was the piece we were looking at, except it was 19 divided by that equaled x. So I got to do divided by that. Let's see what that does for me in the calculator. So I would do 19 divided by, and then we got cosine of, what was that number? I can't even remember. 28 degrees. 28 degrees. Now we're in degree right there. It's in degrees, so that's okay. If it's in the radian, R-A-D, that's not what we need. We want the degree. And then equal, and 21.51 was your answer. So 21.51. This is about 21.5. Piece of cake. That was it. That's all the video was about. We weren't trying to go for anything crazy or special, just straightforward, simple solving equations with a little bit of SOHCAHTOA. See you later.